Converting projects to orders in Oasis is pretty easy. What I'll do is I'll click first inside of projects, and then what I prefer to do if possible is identify the quote number that I'm moving over, with the assumption that breakouts have been sent over to the distributor and I'm just getting the POs back from there. So if I have TRTY 16-185-1, then really I just need that middle part. So #85 is really all I have. And I'll hit go. Brings my project up, double click on it. And then I'm immediately looking at my bill of material. Now, as I said, I like to double check and make sure my customers have been set up properly. So I look for the proper distributor, and I prefer to identify who the contractor is that's buying it from the distributor. Okay, once all that's set up, then just double check, make sure the price looks good. I also like to take a look at the manufacturer's tab, because in a lot of cases we'll get POs over from the distributor and it'll have the total values here. They won't know the earnings or anything, obviously, hopefully not anyway. And I go back over to the items tab and just make sure everything looks right, quantities and so forth. Since all this is set up, it looks pretty good so far. Let me just double check a few other things. Number one is make sure that the sell price looks good at the line level and your commission rates. Now, we don't have to show the customers this, and we don't have to show it really to anybody, but if we have this properly, then we know what to expect when we start getting paid for this project. The other thing that's critical is I see a lot of folks get rid of columns, and the O-base and O-base commission column are ones you definitely do not want to get rid of, especially when you're converting quotes to orders, because what you want to tell the system is where overage begins on a line item basis, because you could use spread profit and a lot of other tools inside of Oasis to move money around. But once we know where the profit begins, so if I sell this for $50 at 8%, all I get is 8% commission, and that's it. And then my rule by telling the system this is if it's more than $50, in other words, I added $70 to this, then I basically get overage on top of that. Well, if I scroll to the right, I've actually added one other column over here called the overage percent overage column, and it says that I get 80% of that $70, and as it turns out on that particular item for 4 items, it better be $200.24 or $224. The bottom line is, if you have all that set up, this moves to the order cleanly. I don't have to rekey the order, I don't have to mess with anything. It's just ready to go. Okay, now once that's set up, go to File, Create POs. Saving changes, just say yes. And now I'm ready to convert my project to my order. What I'll do is I'll select the first one, By Mine Lighting, and then I'll put in the project PO number. Okay, and then anything else that I need in here as well. I could go ahead and put in the PO number for the other factory as well, although I'll convert that next. So project PO number. Again, they can be the same if the factories are different, as is this case. All right, bill of material. Now from the bill of material here, I can actually unselect what I don't need at the moment. So if we're still trying to figure out the coloring of this decorative item, I can unclick that and then later come back and add that in. We'll actually do some of that in another video. And then we go to the order entry over here. I need to identify where I'm shipping this. So either I key it here or I key it on each and every order that I create from this project. I'd rather do it here because it's easier. So project location. Okay, and then anything else that you need to add in as far as when shipping a small parcel or something like that, when to use an alternate address, marking instructions, call heads, or anything else. All this will basically be like a big rubber stamp. It's going to stamp it on the first order and then the second order, or however many I actually create from this particular project. Okay, so I don't need anything else. Let me go and create my first PO. Click on the Create button. It's okay to change the status. So now it's moving from an order pending status, which you probably need to check occasionally, all quotes that are on order pending status. Make sure nothing's happened that might cause you to lose that opportunity. But it's going to move it over to the ordered status. So now I can track it basically as a live order in Oasis. So I'll say yes. Is it a fully released order? I'll go ahead and do just a basic released order in Oasis right now. And just like a regular stock order, key in all the information you need here as well. The stamp, the order type, lot net billing, whether or not you need to ship everything together, the contractor's PO number, any freight type. Again, you can add in your own freight types here, and any allowances you need. Anything else you needed in here as far as tracking later, as far as the search keys that you add in, specifiers, and definitely don't forget to identify who at your company gets credit for this order. Okay. Items, all my items pull over. Notice this did pull everything over, including the net price plus my overage, and gives me the sell price. Now, in the order, it spells it out as you'd expect. In other words, what is the base or net price plus the overage equals the sell. We don't do that on the project because there's multiple columns of pricing typically. Here, it's all basic. It's just net plus overage equals sell. Okay. Addresses, they come over, sold to, billed to, shipped to, alternates as necessary, markings and everything else just as you need in the system. Don't forget to go to the external notes, add any notes you need to tell your customer service person, or shipping instructions to tell them exactly how to ship this product. Okay. And at this point, print, send message. And if I'd already set up the factory to have a default customer service entry, then I basically wouldn't have to key this in, but I'll just email this myself for right now. If I need to send the customer's copy of the PO, I can click Attachments. If I had pulled that into my PO inside of Oasis, the Attachments tab would already be there. Otherwise, just hit Select File and pull it in off your hard drive, desktop, or wherever you've added it. In this case, it's pretty much set up, ready to go. Let me hit Send. And the order goes over to the factory. If I go to Attachments, it'll show all the different details here as well as far as the PO that I actually sent over and the email that I sent, including any attachments. Save and close. And it immediately brings me back to the staging or create order screen, allowing me to basically go back to factories, select my second one, okay, and notice it did explode out the kit, so there's 10 kits or one housing per kit, so it went ahead and moved the quantities over, and it's ready to create the PO for that next factory. If it all looks good, just kind of verify everything that's going on here. Again, make sure money's correct, addresses are correct, any shipping instructions, external notes, and just email it out. Add any attachment. And that is how you create purchase orders from a quote in